Hey, good evening, folks. Dan here. I just wanted to take a moment to announce that as of immediately, effective immediately, I will no longer be broadcasting Zoom Room class broadcasts. There seems to be a little bit of a disconnect and a misunderstanding, especially when I'm interacting with a rabbi. I'm doing such to try to put out a class so that the public out there can see it in a professional or more professional fashion. But a Zoom room has its place, and a Zoom room is better situated and suited for a private class where a rabbi has control. A Zoom room on a broadcast has a tendency to get out of hand in the sense that people all want their questions answered, and everybody has a valid question, and they want to know from the rabbi, and that's exciting. It's exciting to be able to have a rabbi answer your question, but it's not like a class setting where you can put up your hand and say, and the rabbi selects you, and you ask your question. So what's going on is a lot of people are just blurting out questions. Because they do see me actually interact and blurt in or even police a little bit. But it starts to get large. And when you get 40 and 60 people or more even showing up in a Zoom room, coming and going, and questions just flying and blurted in, it's an interruption. And I want you to know that these rabbis work so hard to prepare lessons for us that my desire when I started doing this over 3 years ago, and I'm nearing 500 broadcasts with the rabbis, it's been such a joy to me. But we were doing this to get it out into the public, but we know COVID has changed a lot of things. Zoom rooms have become so popular, and it's just such an honor that when a rabbi lets you in his Zoom room, okay, he wants to share a lesson, and he needs to police it, and he needs to keep order, and he usually has students and things in place. So until the rabbis, Rabbi Goldberg and others, develop a way that polices, because I cannot police it while doing all the work on the social media, YouTube, Facebook, and whatever. And we want to be able to jump to more venues and be able to broadcast to more platforms all at once simultaneously. But I'm all about trying to develop the quality of the presentation. Okay, I'm not a rabbi. The rabbis have the Torah, the light of Torah shining, and it's always a joy when it shines out of the nation of Israel to the rest of the world. And I just want to be able to pass that on in a fashion that especially those that are brand new to it can look at it and see it and sit back and mull. And I want the quality of the product to be accepted for the soundness that it is. Whereas a classroom setting has a different texture, a different feel. The rabbis definitely want to be able to transmit knowledge. And when you have a question, it's important and understood, but you must approach the rabbis with the utmost of dignity and honor and respect. And when we have a Zoom room class that's open to the public, I see all the time in the chat box, people see there's a Zoom room, they want to get into the Zoom room, everybody wants to have their question answered, and they're just blurting it out. It just doesn't work for good quality production, but it is necessary in a classroom setting. And I just want to encourage the rabbis to continue their Zoom rooms. I know that some of them, and I've had the honor of sitting in other Zoom rooms with other rabbis, not broadcasting it, and it's a solemn a time of learning, and you develop based on what the rabbi is honestly teaching you, and you can provoke. But what I find with a lot of B'nai Noach, they have questions, but those questions are provoked also based on the lesson, and I got to be heard now. And I cannot police that. And there seems to be a bit of a disconnect that when I try to break in because somebody takes 2 minutes to spit out their question, I'm only doing so to keep the flow of the broadcast and to let the rabbi still have control of the class. I can't police it when it gets that large. And so until the rabbis come up with a system, maybe I recommend, having your own police person, somebody who's a monitor, where a question is put in a chat box via a queue or something, or a question, and then they can answer it in order successively. But I want to maintain the broadcast, the flow of the broadcast, so that the rabbi's honest lesson that he's worked hard and prepared to share with us gets out to the public in the manner that he desires. And I find there can be a degree of disruption in the classroom, and even more so, people can think that I'm playing heavy with them when all I'm trying to do is keep the broadcast flowing. It can get a little out of hand, and I know that the B'nai Noach just look at me as just another student as well, and I am, and it's just a joy to be in the classroom with the rabbis. And when I break in, I only do it for the broadcast, and I try to stay on the topic and work with the rabbi. And it's been an honor these last several years. Now I'm narrowing in on 500 broadcasts these last few years, helping with them. They're not my broadcasts, but they're the rabbis, and they prepare those classes. And I'm just trying to be a servant who's happened to win a few film awards, and I would rather focus my efforts on quality production and help them shine the light, just like a reflector on a flashlight, magnifies and shines it out. I'd rather do that. Whereas I know a lot of people want to just join together in a Zoom room and be able to get their question and be known, be seen, be heard, and connect and click with a rabbi. And I do encourage everybody on the planet, cling to the hem of a rabbi. Find a rabbi that will open his heart and begin to get to know you and click and connect. I encourage that, but you must do so in the most dignified fashion. They are holy people. Trying to convey a holy message, and a wide open Zoom room class doesn't work for broadcast, okay? It works for the students, and the rabbis can have it as wide open as they want or as pulled back as they want in a private Zoom room setting. But as far as broadcasting Zoom rooms, effective immediately, I am no longer going to be broadcasting Zoom room broadcasts, unless it's a multicast with the rabbis debating or anything of that sort, where there's a topic, where professionals are actually getting together and hashing something out in an audience setting. I like the idea of doing something of that nature, but I love showcasing rabbis that are doing specific classes and topics. We're having a wonderful time with Rabbi Aaron David Poston doing Beyond the Seven. He's now doing the 48 Ways, which he was a student of the original rabbi who wrote the book. It's a beautiful class. Rabbi Chaim Kaufman's been doing a great job with Pirkei Avos, and this is a class that could go on for years and years and years, and he just does it with such flavor. And my wonderful friend, Rabbi Pinchas Levin, with his Pleasant and Purposeful Torah, is just always beautiful, beautiful material, and working in that fashion where it's just, hey, putting it out there, letting the rabbi do his message, maybe a minor bit of interaction without distraction. It allows for those that are new to B'nai Noach, those of the 70 nations, to look at it and see it in a crisper, cleaner, uncluttered light. And it's not that your questions are incorrect or in any way, shape, or form, but when 6 or 8 or 10 people in a row all want to blurt in, it just does not work for broadcasting. And every one of your questions are valuable. Hashem knows your hearts, and the rabbis do want to hear and get to know and be able to share the light of Torah with you. And I encourage everybody that is connecting with the Noahide World Center in Jerusalem to continue to do so. I hear they got a pledge upcoming again before Abed did. Some exciting stuff. There's always many, many, many things happen, and I would love to see B'nai Noach grow globally more and more, but I believe that with my skill set, all I can do is maybe help to add some showcasing of the fine rabbinic tutorials that are there. And it's always, for me, the greatest of honors to actually listen to the rabbis myself. And it's not about me hearing them or me bringing it to you, but it's about the Torah, the light of Torah shining out to you. And the rabbis are qualified with their shmika to do such. And I thank Hashem, and I'm just honored that he's raised up the nation of Israel as a people from the time of Moses all the way to today, and I expect to be some exciting growth with B'nai Noach over the next few years. And it's an honor to be associated with the Noahide World Center. And I want to continue broadcasting classes, but I cannot, in good conscience, continue to broadcast open Zoom room classes that are unpoliced. If a manner comes up with which order is established and the flow can happen, where I can broadcast it, I need to be able to break in occasionally so the rabbi knows where the audience is at. Sometimes I've got hordes of questions on the chat rooms in YouTube and Facebook, and I want to be able to convey that to the rabbi as well. And it's not easy to do if others in the Zoom room think I'm interrupting them or I'm breaking in on them. And I don't want anybody to feel jaded, slighted, but I would love to see everybody fulfill their potential as a human being and learn the truth of Torah from these wonderful rabbis. And it's just such a joy. So from this point forward, I will no longer be doing live Zoom room classes. I'm open to the possibility in a controlled setting, but I can't play the policeman, and I'm not going to play the policeman. I want to be able to just be a servant that aids them to showcase. And I'm open to actually other slots if my schedule allows, with rabbis that want to do shows as well. But I like to take the time to produce a backdrop, a scenery, or something that's agreeable. It does take a few weeks so that it's presented in an ideal fashion so that the audience, hears it. We want to produce products that have staying power, a series that somebody can refer to 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and say, "Ooh, here's Rabbi so-and-so 5 years ago, and look at, he's got this entire series of 48 lessons or 24 lessons, and it's just beautiful." And so we want to preserve that, and we want to preserve that in a fashion. I want to preserve it in a fashion that it's clear, it's concise. But I find when I'm dealing with a lot of open Zoom rooms, you've got mixed mics. People don't understand the audio function, and sometimes it's way too loud, sometimes it's way too low. I'm not getting enough stream. It just doesn't work for professional broadcasting. And trust me, for this reason, a lot of the wise rabbis and the bigger name rabbis, they will only do pre-recorded broadcasts. And it's always an honor when they do a live interactive broadcast. And I got to admire William Hall of Tanakh Talk because his is controlled with the telephone, caller, you're on the air, and that works in some respect, but I'm trying to flow as my rabbi leads and guides. But I cannot in good conscience continue to go forward with open class Zoom room broadcasts. It's just too messy for any degree of quality that I want to put my name on or be associated with, though I want to be involved in classes. And I hope nobody misunderstands this message in any way, shape, or form, because I hope to spend my days doing what I can to aid the cause with the meager school set that I have. And it's just a joy to hear the light of Torah shining out of Israel and the rabbis even here in North America. But from this moment forward, I got to stop broadcasting open Zoom rooms that are uncontrolled, okay? So if I'm going to start broadcasting a Zoom room, whoever's class it is has got to have some degree of order and control, because I want to just be able to, break in with the rabbi when I need to, not interrupt his class. That's not what I'm about. I've done, around 450 of these or so, and without too much difficulty. And I want to amp up the quality. I don't want to downgrade the quality just to reach more masses. It'll just be messy, and it's like trying to do baking bulk in your own little kitchen. It's just not made for it, right? You need industrial. So I want to work on higher quality, higher grade material, and actually play a role in amping up, because let's face it, the light of Torah is holy. It's precious. It's and we need to hear it as it was intended from Moses forward. And I know the rabbis prepare hard when they want to share a class. It's exciting to be a part of, but I can't in good conscience be a part of uncontrolled, hands up. Excuse me. It just goes on in a Zoom room. And it's not like a classroom where the rabbi can see your hand, and people feel that need. And I don't want to discourage anybody from being, plugged into a rabbi's class, but always do such with the utmost of respect and honor for the shmika that they have, the rabbinical ordination, and ask a question in true humility. And honestly, ask yourself your own question once or twice that it makes sense before you just, off the cuff. I don't want, to promote things by rote. It's just not quality broadcasting. I want to work towards quality broadcasting. So, please give me some feedback, folks, and let me know what you think. But this is where I'm at. As of today, I will no longer be doing uncontrolled Zoom room broadcasts. So if the rabbis come up with something that does work, I'm there and I'm here to serve. But I would rather focus on a quality broadcast, and I don't need the other B'nai Noach thinking I get away with blurting in because I've got something going on Facebook or YouTube, and so they can blurt in. It just doesn't. I don't want to send any mixed message. I think the rabbis know me well enough that I'm always honorable and respectful, and if occasionally I'm just me, but I try to think of a quality broadcast, what's going to show. And so even in the past, especially earlier ones, I asked a lot of questions myself, mix it up a little bit sometimes, but it's always nice to get the rabbi's explanation. But I don't want any uncontrolled Zoom room broadcasts going forward. And, I'm still going to be doing some stuff behind the scenes with some other broadcasts that are working on, but I'm just trying to use my skills in that regard. But I don't want to be a part, and I will not be a part of any more uncontrolled Zoom room broadcasts. I hope you understand. So please give me some feedback and tell me what you're thinking. And please continue to join us on the Noahide World Center YouTube social media channels. We're going to be expanding, and we're hoping to keep this growing and going. And I want to support my Rabbi Goldberg of the Noahide World Center, and as they're really trying their best to make sure the Light of Torah is done right and clear with B'nai Noach all around the globe. I want to be able to help them achieve their mission in just the little way I'm capable. But I don't think a wide open Zoom room setting is broadcast quality, and I don't want to be a part of a lack of quality, of poor quality broadcast. But I understand deeply the need of connection for every B'nai Noach, especially to bond with their teacher, and more than that, have their own personal questions answered. And I get it, and I do get it. And, I'm hoping that communities grow and leaders develop wherever they are, and people feel comfortable enough asking questions within their own area, within, recognized leaders in their own area. But till then, everybody's just viewing each other. People are still feeling their way out, but it's growing. So please encourage everybody to continue growth. But if you're going to be part of a Zoom room, I personally, if it's unpatrolled, if it's unpoliced, if it's unmonitored, there's no checks and balance in places, and questions are just blurting in, I can't be a part of that. I don't want to be a part of that. I will not be a part of it, because I think the Light of Torah deserves a degree of humble humility and a proper approach that gives it the honor it's due before Hashem, to just be thankful to that the rabbis are finally shining the light of Torah out of Israel. It's just beautiful. It's just beautiful. So, folks, until next time, this is Dan signing out. Bye for now.